morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, April 13th, and thank you so much for joining into our weekly PPACA ACA webinars. We do have a couple new folks on the line today, so I'll just do a short introduction. My name is Deb Wilkinson. I'm the Vice President of the Health Plan Options Department here at URL, and I oversee the traditional group markets, 2 to 1,000, and the individual and short-term markets as well. It's been a tough gig in the health insurance industry, right? I had hoped that, the recess that the Senate went on, last Thursday, a week ago, that when we last met, we talked about how they were going on recess, so nothing was going to happen, and they had a meeting later that week to talk about the AHCA, the American Health Care Act, and, it seems that the Freedom Caucus is getting a little bit closer to giving it a go with this law. Before they left, they proposed to and voted to add an amendment to the American Health Care Act, and it's called the Federal Invisible Risk Sharing Program. So what that did is it added $15 billion with a B to the American Health Care Act bill. And the proposed amendment would allow the government to pay insurance carriers extra money for those that have claims above a specific dollar amount, kind of like a reinsurer, that, the sickest of all would be on the same plans, but once they met a certain threshold, then the government, federal dollars would help support some of those risks for the insurance carriers. So they say that the measure would be, again, invisible to consumers and shouldn't cause pricing increase for the overall block because the risk pool, is being funded, if you will. So we'll see what comes of that, but it was a development that I wanted to share. Other than that, they're on recess, and it's been pretty mellow. I don't have a large agenda today. I just want to make mention of the Illinois Mutual Lunch and Learn, which is here at URL next Tuesday, I believe. Pardon me, 11 o'clock until 1. So Illinois Mutual is a disability carrier, and they do have some worksite programs. I'm sorry, had to get a drink. My allergies are crazy. So they do have some worksite programs as well as individual disability for white collar, blue collar, and business overhead expense. So if you are looking for things to talk to your clients about, go back to your business owners. It's probably worth your time from 11 to 1 to come to our, come to our seminar. We're also having the Starmark webinar, April 27th from 2 to 3. That is a webinar, and it's going to talk about Starmark's new product that doesn't require any network participation. So it's a non-network plan with no balance billing. So if you are interested in learning about the product, I encourage you to sign on for the webinar. Even if you can't make it, you would get a recording of the webinar. We've talked over the last couple weeks about the short-term and the 90-day ruling, that products can't be issued for more than 90 days at a time, and there is a glitch in the IHC system. When you go in, there's no single payment or no monthly payment option anymore. So when you go in or your clients go in and they want to purchase a plan, 90 days is the max. Even if they want 30 days, there's no way to say you want from this date to this date. It gives you a 90-day policy. In order to make that a 30-day policy, the insured has to email newpolicyservices@ihcgroup.com 5 business days prior to the termination request. So definitely a glitch. And again, I want you to be mindful of that because I can't imagine the number of calls that somebody that is buying a short-term policy for 30 days would have to try to do to get that money back. So again, it's going to issue for 90 days, but you want to make sure you terminate 30 days or 60 days or anything outside of that 90 days because otherwise they're going to have an auto draft of their, or an auto debit of their credit card, which is how they pay, and you know, it'll be a couple days, I'm sure, before they realize that the charge was made. So again, 90 days. If you want something less, they have to cancel. There's also the National General option, which doesn't seem to have that glitch right now. Of note, BC NEPA and UPMC, just on the individual side, there are 0 commissions during SEP. I want to make everybody aware of that in case you didn't know. And one last note before we close up here and open it up for questions. The Pay Who Day on the Hill, the flyer is attached. That is April 25th, and that's a Tuesday. There is a pre-meeting with CEs, on Monday the 24th, and that's from 12 to 6. That flyer is also attached. And, you know, if you have any interest in attending or making your voice heard to our local legislators, I would say take some time and register. You will never be left alone with a legislator. You will always travel in groups. And if you feel the need or desire to chime in and talk to a legislator, that's fine. Otherwise, you can just be a silent part of the silent majority and, you know, just be there in presence alone. So again, something that if you have an interest, I would encourage you to sign up for. So that's it. That brings us up to the open forum where you can ask your questions. You can either type them in the box on the control panel to the right of your screen, or you can raise your hand. And let's see here. Oh, the 19th is a Wednesday, not Tuesday. Thank you for pointing that out. So April 19th is the Lunch and Learn on Wednesday. Thank you. And Tim asks, how is National General able to do up to 11-month coverage period? They don't, Tim. They only do 90 days max, but National General has the ability on their system to, if you only want it for 30 days or 60 days or 40 days, you can have a start point and a stop point on their site. IHC, you can't. You go in and you can pick a start date, but it automatically is 90 days from that start date unless you do as suggested, and 5 days prior to the termination request, email the termination. That's the difference. Dave Highland says Happy Easter, and that's it. I mean, it's a pretty slow news week, evidently, and not a lot to share. But again, I always really appreciate everyone joining in. We'll have more to talk about next Thursday, which is the 20th. And until then, for those of you that celebrate Passover, I wish you all a happy Passover weekend. And for those of you that celebrate Easter, a happy and blessed weekend celebrating Easter as well. Until then, I will talk with you all next Thursday, the 20th, and enjoy the balance of your week and a wonderful weekend. Thanks. Bye-bye.